And to think like literally a year ago, you were like 93.7 kilos. So we might as well roll with that. Tell me, how is that different to where you are right now then? Take me back a year ago.
A year ago, I was what? Like you said, I was 97 or 93.7, near enough bordering 94. That was probably a good day where I probably didn't eat as much the day before, which is why it came under kind of 93. And you just looked at yourself and you didn't feel good. I didn't feel good. I felt lazy. Food was my best mate. Nothing else was otherwise. Mentally, just looking, you don't feel good, right? Because if you don't feel good, you don't look good. It kind of all kind of manifests as one big thing of just you wake up and you just think, I'm too far gone. What do I do? I think the big changer for me was when my wardrobe started getting to the point. So there's a thing I do. When I buy suits, I normally always buy two trousers. I buy the trousers that put me in good shape and the trousers when I have a bit of fun and go a little bit big. I was going past the big trousers. So I was getting to the trousers beyond the next one, right? And that was too big a shift. Like I said to you when I met you, I just said, I don't fit into anything that I bought. It's a new wardrobe and a new wardrobe for the wrong reasons. Something has to change. Doing it for the right reasons, which is what I'm doing right now, is different to those. And then again, I went to go see my consultant about my heart and he's telling me, you've put on a bit of weight. This is not good for your cardiovascular. It's not good for your heart rate. You know, you've got a history of high blood pressure and stuff like that. I used to go see my arthritis consultant and he'd go to me, look, rheumatoid arthritis, it's all about the muscles, it's all about the weight, and you're going the wrong side of it, really. You were good before, but you're going over here. It's not all good. And you start putting all of that into a box and you start thinking there's only one answer, right? Which is you have to do something about it. But how many times have I done this journey where I've tried to do something about it myself or watch some videos or talk to someone and gone, here's an app you follow and you log your weights and this is what you do. Jump on MyFitnessPal and you just kind of look at all of these online things that tell you, put in your weight, put in this, and this is what macros you should be eating and this is what protein you should have in. And then you start buying protein water, which is what I started doing. And started doing all of that because someone told me that you need to eat 2 grams of protein for everything you weigh in order to lose weight. And you try all of these things and you fail. And that just goes because then you bounce back and you just think, well, I'm putting all of this effort in at the gym. I'm trying to eat healthy and it's not working. What's the point? So guess what happens then? You go the other way and you put more weight on. Right? And that's where it got to. And I think it was seeing one of my good friends that I've known for many years do it with yourself and then kind of looking at some of the people from my community in the temple that I kind of visit. And I thought, I'm going to give you a call. And it was literally at night, I think, Instagram as you do, stupidly, filled in a form or something. And then we got talking. And even then I was like, and then we got speaking and we spoke that first time. And I remember, and it was literally within like, I don't know why, you mesmerized me or something. Within, what was it, 5 minutes? We were in, credit card details were out, we were popping. About what, an hour later, my first sheet came through of going, right, here's what we're going to do. But I think it was more about how you sold the journey for me. You understood what I was about. You understood I'm a crisp-aholic. I'm a chocolate-aholic. I do enjoy a couple of drinks. I did have a busy work life at that time where I was traveling a lot. I needed to know that that was not going to be a prohibitor to it because then it would have been, what's the point? Because I used to travel 2 to 3 weeks of a month. So you listen to all of that. And even in that 5 minutes that we spoke, I made some notes and I probably still got them somewhere. You put in all of that and said, we can work with that. We can work with this. But it wasn't just saying that. It was the fact that you said, yeah, but we'll find something that then when you're away, we'll work out what you're going, where you're going, what restaurants you're going to go to. I'll help you out. It was that little bit more that said, all right, fine. And the biggest thing we spoke about is accountability. And I even said to you, go hard, go mean. Because I want to know when I'm not doing well and I want to be complimented when I am. And it was those things when you used to wake up sometimes and I'd send you what I've done and you'd go, what the hell? What's that about? And I'd go, yeah, right. And then that starts making you think going, there's no point me lying because you can see my fitness pal. All right, but even if I don't scan it on there, I still have to send you a picture every week where you're going to go, that don't make sense. All right. So there's no point lying. So you start thinking, I'm not going to eat that because I have to write that down and then I know I'm just going to get a bollocking. So it was listening to all of you talk about all of that, and I've never regretted it since. I've genuinely not regretted it. And people sometimes go about like, I don't know, they say it's a lot of money. But what I found at the end of my first month is I had more money in my bank account when I did it because I stopped going out to eat. I started creating food at home. I started eating more veg, which not more veg. I started eating veg because I never touched veg before. And you start experimenting with food and it was better. So look, that first day was a game changer. And I say to people all the time that I was still apprehensive when I even did it. I went to sleep that night and thought, crap, read the contract and I thought, crap. Right. But then once we got into it, I think I still got the message somewhere. I think after the first week or 2 weeks, we looked at it and you just said, mate, this is a Picasso painting. I'll never forget that when we saw that thing. And that's when I thought, wow, this is on. First week I was at home. The next week I was away at work and we were still dropping weight. And I thought, heavy work-life travel, this is doable. I've never regretted it, like I said. I've loved it every single minute of it. Even the bollockings, even the fun bits. But yeah, that day to now, chalk and cheese. I can't tell you. Like I say, heart rate, arthritis. I got my jeans taken in twice, and then I had to throw those ones away and just bought new ones because then they just didn't look right. So a new wardrobe for the right reasons, not for the wrong ones.
That's the tagline. That's great. And then most people will be like, "How did you do the travel?" So just for context, you traveled every third week, right? So a lot of times, every 2 weeks. So you had Dublin. There was somewhere in Eastern Europe. I think
Bulgaria, Spain, Bulgaria, Belfast.
And then, so you go into all these places. Like, how did we pull it off? What do you think was the best part?
So let me set the context to what my work life was like, right? If I was in London in the evenings, I'll be going out for drinks, dinners, meals with clients or colleagues or something, or there'll be a work social event or a partner event or something. So there was always something involved in tapas food, drinks, and at the time free bars. If I wasn't there, I'll be in Bulgaria once a month where I had to go. That was normally a 4 to 5 days. Airport, hotels, again, meeting my office people there, meeting customers, meeting clients. If it wasn't there, I was in Belfast. Airports, hotels, out with colleagues there, meeting partners, meeting different people from other businesses, etc. Everything. So everything always involved. It was never a case of just sit in a hotel and relax. Because even if I sat in a hotel, there'd be a restaurant downstairs that gave you easy access to pizza and chips and desserts and beer and everything. So everything I just didn't think was possible. But what you gave me was, right, when we go away, we're going to work on a menu that said, take some of your food with you. And I used to have a lot of those Huel savory things, didn't I? All right, and those Huel shakes and stuff like that and everything. So we said we'd use those for lunches, and for dinners, we would capitalize on the veg and we'll look at one option. So again, during the early times, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Nate, but I would send you where I was going and you'd look at it and you'd kind of say, this is what you could have. And it just made things easy because then it was a case of you're already set. So I'd go into places and they'd go, oh, we're sitting down with, I don't want to start, or I'm fine, thank you. I'm just going to have a main. So, oh, brilliant. What are you going to have for mains? Bang, bang. It's done. Yeah. There's no decision. It's not about, should I have this one or that one? Because it can be a case of, should I have a salad or should I have a pizza? Or do you reckon I can have half a pizza? I'll tell you what, I'll have the whole pizza and leave the salad. And you start going down those debating options, right? Or start going, I'll tell you what, I'll skip the starters and I can have a whole pasta dish or something. Whereas now it was just a case of, I'm having this and this. And then it became to also educating everyone around me, which was a fact of what you said as well. You've got to tell people what journey you're on so that they don't destabilize you or something like that. So it's a case of, look, I'm trying to lose some weight. It's a health benefit. This is what I'm trying to do. There is going to be a point in time where I'm going to enjoy it, but for now, I'm going to concentrate on this. And it was them having the respect of saying, no problem. If you want to drink, you drink. If you don't, that's fine. And then it was understanding beers, cocktails are the devil. If you're going to have to do a drink, Raj, have a single gin and tonic. Fine. I could live with that. I wasn't a massive drinker anyway, but social just made it 3-4 beers or 2-3 gins just because it's what people tended to do. So it was about a case of understanding that. It was also a case of saying, avoid the hotel dinners. And that was a big thing for me is if I had to do that, then take a Huel savory or take a Huel shake or do something else as opposed to then do that just while I was away. And I think that just probably meant I was eating 12 to 1,300 calories a day because I was on Huels and a good managed evening dinner, which we will talk about, as opposed to the old would have been a hotel breakfast. I don't know, 900 calories. Go out for a lunch at a sandwich bar because everyone would go there. Another 500-600 calories. Evening, hotel, 2 beers before we've even gone out for dinner. Another 600 calories. Go out for dinner and it would probably be a 3-course meal. Let's be honest, you'd probably have a starter that might be sharing. You might have a mains. You probably have a dessert. You probably have a couple of alcoholic drinks there. And all of a sudden, those 3,000 calories a day, dinners, over then potentially sometimes 5 days when I'll be out from Friday or probably Monday to Friday, was suddenly into 1,300 calories. But feeling full, not feeling like I needed to because the food is good, the veg is good. And then also knowing that I'm on a journey and I've always started benefiting from that journey. So it made a massive difference because when you know that you're making gains and you know you're losing weight, your mindset changes of just going, nah, this is not worth it. I don't need to do this because on that scale every morning, which I think is a brilliant thing you do because it makes you accountable every day. On that scale in the morning, I want to see a couple of digits off. And we used to say it all the time sometimes when it wasn't off. I used to get so angry with myself, didn't I? Nate, why has it not come off? What the hell's happened? I followed this, no. And you'd have to calm me down by going, hold on, might be sleep, might be a bit of water. We still would have had fat loss. Relax, keep on it. Yeah. And it was that. But that understanding where you're going, understanding what your meals consumptions are, avoiding breakfasts at hotels, as good as they may be. Like you said to me, what are you getting there that you can't get back in the UK? Nothing. So why am I going out there and eating it? What's the point? If there's something new that I'm out in a country that I might not get back in the UK or as a niche thing, then yeah. But if I'm going to go there and eat hash browns, beans, sausages, croissants, an orange juice, a yogurt, I can get that back in the UK. So what's the point of me going out there and eating that and getting in all of this weight when I can eat it in proportion whenever I want it at home? And that was a big thing. That always registers with me. Even when I go away now on holidays with the wife or the lads or anything, I don't touch anything I can eat back in the UK. This is no point.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing. And also you get to have that excitement about new food and trying new stuff, as opposed to, I know even like in Dubai, there's loads of Irish pubs that all the Irish people go to. They have the same Guinnesses, the same roast dinners, they like their own. Whereas it's the opposite for me. I think most people need to take away that excitement of the normal foods that you would have and the hash browns, the breakfasts, and actually look at it's just food. And people need less excitement with food because everyone's got too much excitement. Like you said, like the first conversation we had, that first 5 minutes you spoke about was all about crisps. What's your favorite stuff? And you're like, all of them. And I'm like, well, she'll like I like gummies, like sweets, like all the stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool, we can deal with that because everyone's got an exciting start. If you name someone's food, they start smiling and they're like, yeah, I really like that. Yeah. We need to be excited less about food, otherwise that's where it goes a bit wrong. So talk about one of the first real big hurdles that we had was when you just like dropped a message and said, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going on a lad's holiday. I don't know how many weeks. I think that was I'm looking at this now. We started in 1st of September, and I think it was October the 2nd or something like that. You're like, by the way, tomorrow I'm going to Mexico, wasn't it? So it was in Mexico. How did that go for you?
We had an amazing September. I think I dropped about 5 or 6 kg. I don't know, you can tell me, but it was unreal. And it was like into numbers that I haven't seen in years. And then all of a sudden, it was 3 of my good friends and family's birthdays, and we were going out. Yeah, we're going Cancun for 7 days, and I'm in, totally in, all inclusive, everything. Brilliant. I don't think I told you, but it's brilliant. We got there, everyone's going, oh, Raj, you're looking great, you know. I took my gym gear, I made sure everyone took their gym gear, and I made sure everyone kind of understood that we're on this brilliant vibe and we're going to have a great time. And don't get me wrong, we did have tequilas, but we stayed away from the cocktails. And everyone's going, Raj, we're going to have cocktails. I'm going, nah. Bro, that's 400 calories in a cocktail. We can't be dealing with that, lads. We got to look after ourselves, innit? And everyone's going, yeah. We're going to stick to like alcohols that are kind of like gin and tonics or vodka and cokes. And even then we're going to make it slimline coke or slimline tonic. And we're just going to deal with that. And they're like, all right, fine. What we're doing? I said, we're going to go to the gym in the mornings. And you would not believe every single one of us in the morning would get up and go to the gym. Every single one of us were then on 10,000 steps. And it was, if you ask some of them, they'll even tell you, Raj, have you done your 10,000 steps? Because Nate's going to ask you in the morning. And I'm like, yeah, we've got our 10,000 steps. We've got our 10,000 steps in. Or we'd be walking around the resort in the evening to get our 10,000 steps. And then when we went to lunches or we went to breakfast, everyone took the 1 plate rule. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Some of them did take the mick and went, yeah, I'm going to go again anyway, Rod, because Nate's not my PT. He's your problem. So off he went. It was unreal. But even then, I think it was the fact of you kind of even said to me, look, you are going to go out there. You've paid to go out there. Enjoy it. Understand you are going to put a bit on. That's fine. But then know when you come back, you're going to have to get back into mode. So enjoy your small little success, but know there's still a bigger game to be done. And it was also that, like I said to you before, it's a case of, and also don't waste your calories on stuff you can get at home. And that's what it was about. In the mornings, I used to send you pictures of fruit. And they'd look at me and go, you having fruit? I'm like, yeah. And then I think I sent you a picture of, I've had this fruit shake. And you're going, mate, bin that. That's not healthy. You think it is, get rid of that. All of a sudden, the next day, a couple of lads have got these shakes. I'm going, no, we don't do those. They're too much calories. We need to go back onto this. And every single one of them supported me on it. But it was a massive thing to try and go out there knowing that I'm going to probably gain weight, but be happy with it and content, but controlled it. I think you said to me, go away and put 2 to 3 kg on. And I think we came back with about 2.5 or something, or whatever it was. But having enjoyed myself, not restricted myself from anything, not restricting myself from drinking, not restricting myself from going out with the lads, not restricting myself from any food, still enjoying it, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be drinking in late into the night. But we still managed to get gym sessions in. We still did runs. We still did walks, beach walks, whatever it was. We factored in the exercise into the fun. We factored in the restrictions, but with a means of still making it fun. And that became the mantra now for anywhere we go on holiday. Still in the gym. I'm still trying to get my steps in. In fact, we look at things and go, right, there's a place we want to get to. Is there a way to walk there or do we have to get a cab? If we can walk there, let's walk. And if it's half an hour walk, it's a half an hour walk. And that's what we were doing. So that holiday was another big thing for me because it ticked the box for me, right? Where I said to you, I like to do 4 or 5 holidays a year. Is that going to be a problem? And he said, we'll manage that. So it ticked the box for me of saying, I could do it when I'm in the UK. I could do it when I'm traveling, a full-on lads holiday. I could do any other holiday after that.
That was our thing. It's like, I think I really do believe that. So people who go through like a testing in the first like 4 to 6 weeks where they've got some results and then they have this big thing, when they overcome that, they're like, fuck out, the rest is easy. They're like, literally, if you can go on a lad's holiday and you can gain a bit of weight, but like that is 1/4 of what you probably would have gained on another lad's holiday if you wouldn't have worked, right? That's why I said to you, and then people are like, oh, maybe why are you gaining that, helping gain 2 or 3 kilos? I'm like, because his baseline is 8 kilos. If you could gain just 2, and I know the type of guy you are when you have that psychology where you're like head down and I want to do this. And we said this beginners, like between your travel trips, we're going to be head down and laser. Around the travel, that's where we have the flex or the portions or the specifics. But when you have that time away, you enjoy it, you have a little bit extra, whatever, and then you just don't go by either making progress or not going backwards. And we just didn't go backwards significantly. So we were able to crack on, and that was like a refresh for us. And then you lost weight then well into the 80s without a break. We lost another 8 kilos in literally 2 months because you had that time away, refreshed, you were not restricted, not psychologically like, oh, this is crap. And then 8 kilos came off in those next 2 months because of that too.
It became a mates competition. Honestly, everyone was then doing their own thing. And they didn't know what we were doing. All they knew was healthy food, 10,000 steps. Everyone, even when we got back, Raj, what's your weight at? I'm at this. Oh, I'm at that. And it just became a competition also. And you know me, I'm super competitive as well. And it just got everyone on it. And I think that's the good thing. That at work, everyone understood what I was about. And they kind of helped me with that. Among my mates, when I was going on holiday, they understood what it was about and supported me. None of them would ever say, have a dessert. And that's the other thing, actually, I forgot to mention. We didn't do desserts. I didn't do desserts. One day, I think I did desserts. Otherwise, it was kind of like, nah, because that little small cake is worth so many calories. I'd rather go have 2 slices of pizza or some chips or go have another gin and tonic or something else, or actually have a beer, because sometimes you just feel like a beer in a nice heat, right? Where if it comes out nice cold draft with the condensation on the outside, you're just like, yeah, sweet, pop a beer. I'd rather do that than have those. And yeah, it was brilliant. But yeah, it was a massive game changer. And then it just ticked all the boxes. Like I say, do it at home, do it abroad, do it for work. We've got everything locked in.
That whole statement of can you do it on a cold, wet, windy night in Stoke is a fantastic statement, which is great. If you can go through those, the rest of it is easy. So in terms of like that middle ground then, so you got into like uncharted territory that you hadn't been in a while once you go below 90. But like, what was that psychological change from like 90 to 80? Like, how does that make you feel? What was the challenges between that point?
It was a bug, wasn't it? And when we spoke, we said we wanted to get to 85. That was the goal. And I think we went there and we just like, right, I want to get to 80. And I think it was just seeing, looking good, looking better, people complimenting you. It's not about compliments, but it's nice to be recognized for the effort you've put in. That's always nice, right? And people even at the gym going, oh, you're looking a lot better. You're looking good. You know, I can see the change in you. Keep going, mate. And it's those little compliments. People don't realize how much impact that has on you. It might just be a passing comment of, I can see you're looking good, looking well, but that resonates with you massive, just to go, wow, some random who I've met in the gym who are probably just with our headphones on, just like that, the Sunday coming out and going, wow, I must be doing something. And then even family and stuff going, oh, you're looking good, looking well. I'm telling them that I've got a photo shoot or I've got a session, and everyone's going, oh, wow. That was our first meeting session we were doing, and I wanted to try and be one of the heaviest losers at that session in the sense of having lost the most amount because they're super competitive like that. And then it was just seeing my diet go better, my portion control go better, a better selection of food. Previously, I'd go out and me and my wife would probably have a mains each, probably a starter each. And it got to a point where I was going, we can share a starter and we can share the mains. And she's like, yeah. And we actually walked away from that feeling full. So it was about understanding and educating yourself as well about what do you actually need and what's just overindulgent. And the benefits you just start getting from not feeling lethargic after, having a lot more energy, going out for walks together, which is nice because you get time to talk and in nature and stuff like that and all of those little benefits. But also spending some much more time together, spending time in the kitchen together, cooking, meal prepping, trying different things. You know, you would never catch me, Nathan, in the kitchen. The only thing you'd probably catch me is beans on toast, warming up a pizza, or making a cheese toastie. That was me, because I love the cheese toastie. That was it. But now I'm making paneer dishes. I'm making tofu dishes. I'm making different types of veg dishes. We're trying to make together protein brownies. We're trying to make protein banana bread and this and that and all of this kind of stuff. And look, to answer your question of what did it do for me, it propelled my confidence, felt better, looked better, walked more better. I just had a spring back in my step. Mentally, I felt clearer because I had a focus. I knew what I was doing. Because what it was when I was 93.7, it was a case of what should I do today? I don't know. I might do this. I might do that. It was just a dedicated, I'm going to the gym in the morning. I know I'm going to eat this for lunch. In the evening, I'm going to either do this, I'm going to have that. And then it was a case of even the socials were able to come back in, but controlled. The alcohol consumption kind of moved away, and that was nice. I could, even now, when I drink, I can see the impact it has on me. So it's not that I'm going to ever stop drinking, but I know that if I'm going to do it, it's going to have to be for a specific reason, as opposed to before it was a case of Thursdays are the new Fridays at work. Let's go out for 2-3 beers. Saturday or Friday evening, let's go around to a mate's, or let's meet up with some family. We'll have a couple of beers or a couple of drinks. Saturday was the same. It just became different. Health benefits were brilliant. My heart rate was dropping all the time. My resting heart rate was dropping. My sleeping heart rate was unbelievable. Now it's at a different level altogether. I think when we started, I was about 79, 77. Now I sleep at about 54, I think is the lowest I've ever recorded, which is unreal. And I'm going to try and keep going on the weight loss journey to try and get that to 50. That's a goal I have in mind. The arthritis is subdued. I don't feel so out of breath anymore. I'm more active. All of those things just play a part in wanting you to keep going on that journey. My concern only now is, am I going to take it past the point of being unhealthy? But that's where you come into part and just go, this is it, Raj. This is where we stay at. But yeah, the change has been unbelievable. The journey's been unbelievable. 90 to 80. I can't remember the last time I was 80. Before that time, it must have been high school. The clothes is a different thing. You start getting back into clothes that you bought previously that you probably wanted to throw in a charity bag, and now you're thinking, nah, I'm glad I didn't. Because as you know me, I don't mind my little extravagant clothing or a little bit of this, and to get those back in, I'm happy with those. And your bank balance increases. I just can't explain it, but your bank balance increases. As your health increases, as you take away those silly, naughty habits of takeaways and unnecessary socials and crazy nights out and stuff, your health increases, your bank balance increases, you start doing better things, you start enjoying more stuff, you start eating more tasty food because you're experimenting and stuff. Your sleep improves, which automatically improves your mindset, your language, your body language, everything during the day. It's just a snowball effect of benefits, which I think people need to understand. It is massively connected to your weight, how you look and feel. It's a dangerous drug that you can get addicted to once you're on it.
It's probably one of the best ones to be addicted to.
Definitely.
So, actually, I want to talk about the part in which when you've lost a bunch of weight, and then there becomes a point where those good comments and like everything positive is happening. Do you start slacking off a little bit? The things start it becomes like a mind game for you at that point?
Yeah, I think I got to about 82, 81, around that 80 mark. I think it was about 79, 80, and we didn't drop below that 80 for a long time. I was doing off over 2 stone down. Beyond my wildest dreams, 85 was my target. I was going to buy new jeans. Now I'm 2 sizes down. I'm done. I've checked out. Thank you very much. Drop mic, I'm off. Everyone thinks I look great. I feel great. I'm back into my old suits. My shirts are no longer popping at the buttons. All my t-shirts are not like they're freaking sprayed on. And it was that, right? I don't know how you can explain it. You become complacent, right? And you start the odd little here of a little, I don't know, couple of samosas there, and a little night out there becomes another night out there. And it's all right. I'll sort it out the next day because look at me. I'm great, all right? I'm in the best shape I've been in for ages, right? So I got this. And it was a case of, and then I said check in on a Sunday, and I'll be going on a Saturday. I think it was me to check in. I'm going, I haven't lost anything. The pictures are going to look the same. I don't know what's going on. And he used to say to me, mate, what the fuck? Look at all of this. What's the need for that? What's the need of this? How did those Haribos sneak in all of a sudden? Because it wasn't one, it was a packet, right? I used to go and I go, yes, had a handful of Haribos. What you didn't know is the handful of Haribos meant to take the whole packet out.
Yeah, like a claw. That's it, like, yeah.
Yeah, it was difficult to motivate yourself back. And I think it's because you get into that point of going, I got beyond what I wanted to achieve. Because you're at a point where you think, I'm brilliant. I'm enjoying it. It's fantastic. And I've got here. And let's be honest, right? The journey is not easy to keep going. Right. So the easy thing is to tap out because you think, all right, I've done 6 months of it. I'm at a point. I've done better than I thought. I know this now because you become arrogant and cocky because that's what happens when you start sleeping more. You start feeling better and stuff like that. You start getting the chest comes out and you start thinking, yeah, I got this now. Trust me, I got this, bro. It's all good. And all of that creeps in. And then everyone else, the timing was bad because I think we just ended up coming into like beginning of summer or something then or early that. My birthday was around then as well, and you're just going, yeah, this is me now, right? And but then we also shared a message where I said to you, I want to look like Runway Singh or something, and you said to me, yeah, good luck, but we'll try and get as close. And I'm going, and I think it's that common thing that you see, right? You look at yourself in the gym in the mirror and you think you look great, but then you see pictures and you think, actually, why don't I look as good as I think I did? And you start going, I haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
And that's when I started talking to you and I went, look, I've gone up a couple, and you're going, you've got to decide what you want to do. And it was a case of going, no, I do want to do this because I started this journey. All right, it was maybe I undersold myself by saying we should only go to 85, but that was because I didn't know how fantastic, how easy it was going to be with all of the controls to allow me to do that, right? And I'd say to someone now, if they were joining, is be massively ambitious, because what you might think is a long reach, with the help and the nurturing of these guys, can make it probably feasible and a plausible journey. I should have come to you and said, I don't want to lose 9 kg. I should have come to you and said, I wanted to lose 20. And that probably would have put my complacent point at a lower, whereas my complacent point was probably mid-level. And that meant we not wasted, because there was also education there of saying, wake up, mate. It's not as easy as that. But probably we could have got to that journey and that end goal, which I still don't believe we're at, because I said to you, I'm going to try and get to 68 now. But we would have probably got to that faster and probably at a more aggressive trajectory. Whereas we had that little dip, didn't we? And if you see the graph, you'll see there was a dip and it went up and like that. It was kind of almost like a bit of waves going in. You'd go on the scale and you'd realize, oh, put about a kg on, let me try and cut down a bit. And then you start going, well, I've cut down, all right, I can have another day. And then it just started going like that until you kind of wake up one morning and kind of slap yourself and just go, if you're going to do it properly or tap it.
Everyone has that, like we call it the curse of the 10 kilos, but it's not really 10 kilos. It's somewhere where you're getting a lot of gratification from external measures. You're happy with the progress that you've made yourself. And also you got what you wanted internally, not externally, because people are like, oh, maybe I could be this way, or I want to be this number on the scale, but you're getting fulfillment internally. You've probably had a comment from someone that you didn't expect to, or the jeans are fit and you feel amazing. And sometimes that's what you wanted when you started. And most of the time it's actually having that lull period and then just resetting the bar again, like a thermostat on an air conditioning. If you set it at a particular point, it's only going to work when it's either too low or too high. And you kick into gear as it starts to go back up, right? Exactly. It starts to work and bring it back down. Almost what we did and what you've done, even by that 68, you've now tapped that thermostat down further. And now you're like, no, my baseline is 75 where that shoot was, and you want to get to 68. That's the thermostat now, whereas before thermostat was 85, and that was cool.
I never want to see an 8 on my scale. That's what I've set myself at. And even when you said to me, take a couple of weeks off now, and I was like, all right, and it could have been easy for me to just go back into that crazy thing of just going, let's do it. And I did do it for probably a couple of days, as you probably saw, but then it was a case of saying, right, let's get the focus back on. Let's not throw away what has been a 9-month journey, or let's not throw away even 5% of that journey in a week, right? Because it's not worth it. What's the point of all of that effort in to then just spunk it away? So I kind of went, no. And then again, like I say, we keep going on that drop and we'll continue on that. My advice to anyone would be, and I know you're not asking for it, but my advice to anyone would be go aggressive.
What did you learn about having to shoot as a deadline? What did you learn about that day?
Yeah, that was dangerous put in as when you had that social event. Do you remember? And I said to you, and I was like, all right, there's a social event coming up. You're going to come there, Raj. We're going to talk about it and stuff like that. And I went hell for leather that day. You know, I went to the sauna. I did a gym in the morning, thinking you're going to put people on a scale and you're there like you see on the movies, or not in the movies, but on the show. And I'm thinking, man, I've got to strip this. I thought I was a boxer, like getting ready for, got to get the weight. And I turned up there and I'm like, where's the scale? No scale. All right. I kind of sweated. I haven't eaten all morning.
That whole thing, you weren't the only one. There was 3 of you that had all like done a 5K run in the morning. You'd done a sauna. The other guy you got a photo with, I forgot his name. You all came in thinking that it was going to be like a Weight Watchers weigh-in.
Yeah. And I thought, man, I got to get this. That was one of the first points. And then I think when we said to you, or when you said to me, should we talk about a photo shoot and stuff like that? And I said, yeah, as long as we get to a certain weight. And so you adjusted the time frames of that photo shoot to try and give me the time. And look, I think we did move it back once or twice. That hones in. That is massive. Because at that point in time, my motivation wasn't to look good on holidays because I thought I looked good already. My motivation wasn't for any social events because I thought I'm good. I'm into 3 sizes down from what I was. All right. So I'm good. You know, I'm wearing 28, 30 jeans while I was hitting 36s before. And I was 34 was my max and I was going up there. So I'm good. Do you know what I mean? The clothes that people used to see me on, they're out. There's a new set here. So I didn't have anything that gave me a focal point to try and hit towards. So to have that thing of saying, actually, there's a photo shoot booked in, that gave me that focus point and that pivotal point that I knew there was, that ain't moving, that ain't going anywhere. You can go away and do whatever you want, but you know you're going to suffer. So I think even before then, being what I'm like, I think 3 weeks before, I ended up last minute trip with the missus to Kuala Lumpur, right? For 10 days. But again, we managed that because it was a case of we were getting the steps in. I said to you, I'm going to try doing 1 meal a day. You were like, throw that out of the bin, Raj. You ain't going to do that. You're going to overconsume. So we adjusted that. And I think we came back with a loss, which was a shock. For 10 days out, doing my steps, eating out most days because there's not an apartment, it's a hotel or a restaurant. I lost some weight and I was, wow. So again, that was just another tick in the box of saying, all right, because what I didn't want to do is lose any ground. I probably didn't gain as much as I wanted, but I didn't lose any. And then it was a case of hard focus for those things. So I think a photo shoot is critical if you want to have a focus point for you to get to if you don't have any other motivation. Because let's be honest, no one wants to look bad semi-naked. Fact. All right. And I'm not saying I look the best shape ever, but I knew I had to come in some shape in order to look half decent. And like I said before to you, I think we're going to do another one when I get to my 70, sub 70 kind of weight. But yeah, photo shoots are massively important.
It's that standard, isn't it? It's that resetting that clock of like, oh shit, I'm good. Look at where we can get to. It's the difference between like playing defense versus offense. It's like, if you, I'm good, I'm here, I've got my 20, I've got my 15 kilos, let me hold on to it, versus let's go and get that last 5. And actually in that last 5, there's all of these lessons, all of these extra stuff about the mindset of taking it further than you need to, the extra discipline. It's harder to keep to a diet when you look good than it is to when you look bad. It's easier when you look like shit and you feel like shit to be like, I need to do something about it. But if you've got your mates, everyone else, Tom, Dick, and Harry saying, yo, bro, you look absolutely sick, it's so easy without discipline to eat more because you're getting that gratification. Most people think it's, oh, when I get in shape, it'll be easier. Actually, it's when I get in shape, it's exponentially harder.
What's that one extra samosa going to do, bro? Look at you. Just have one more drink. Look at you, bro. It's like, you can easily look at me and I'm still having it. You can do one, bro. And I'm like, yeah, go on and I'll have another drink. But it's so easy to just go that because everyone just thinks you've got that. What they don't understand is the dedication it takes to maintain or even keep going lower, I think is the key. But yeah, you need focal points.
No, 100%. When that focal point went away now, so like the shoot went away, we had that touch point and you were like, right, let's go down to 68. Like, how has it changed for you now? So like nearly a year in, like what does your day look like differently to when you first started? Is there any different?
Yeah, 110%. It's totally different. Like I say, when those days it was get up in the morning, I don't know, have something to eat for breakfast, probably something cheese related because cheese was a standard thing for me. Coffees, teas, maybe a croissant. You know how much I love croissants, so maybe not one but 2 croissants. Maybe open them up, put some cheese in them, toast them, anything along those crazy vibes that I'd do. And then it would be a case of going to work, eating at biscuit tins, having a couple of coffees. The diet thing was massive, right? So let's cover that off really quickly. The diet thing changes, but also what changes is your actual routine. So now I have a routine. I know I want to be in bed by 9:30, 10. I know I'm going to be up at 5:30, 6. I know I'm going to go to the gym and I want to get it out early. And that's because now you've made gym buddies at that time and they're just used to you. If you don't go, where have you been? Been on holiday or whatever and all that. And that's nice. Some of them help spot you, stuff like that. And then it's the other thing as well is you just get used to that nice morning walk. And then I know by the time I've come back from the gym, I've done my workout, I've got my near enough 8,000 steps on the board. I've got 2,000 to get for the rest of the day, if not more. And then I think it's the whole thing then is because I've made that sacrifice in the morning, I'm not going to spoil it with a croissant for breakfast. Whereas before, because I didn't sacrifice anything, it makes no difference to me. I'm 94 kg, I can have a croissant. What difference does it make? I'm not going to starve myself. One day starving myself ain't going to make me look slim. So what's the point? Carry on. Whereas now I make that early sacrifice, I'm not going to surrender it easily. I'm not going to surrender it at lunch. I'm not going to surrender it at dinner. I'm going to still have my chocolate, which you said I'm allowed, which is my whole nut out the fridge. Perfecto. It's because I know I've earned it. And then it's a case of saying, right, if I'm going out in the evening, I might not have lunch. I might not have breakfast at all. I might just decide that now because I want to save those calories for the evening, or I might have a lighter lunch in order to do that. Whereas before, it did make a difference. It was something crazy for breakfast, snacks in between, never saw veg ever. Veg was something that always was left on the plate. Now it's a compulsory thing for every meal. A lunch would be a crazy thing. And if we're going out in the evening, brilliant. We're on a social now. Let's go. Chalk and cheese compared to what it is now. Whereas now I'm planning my stuff and I'm going, if I'm out on Tuesday, I don't really want to go out on Thursday again because I don't want to go out twice in a week. I look back at what I was like and what I was doing, and I can totally understand where I ended up and why. And now I just think, now you've installed some principles in me, installed some habits in me that I think I will take with me for the rest of my life that will prevent me from ever getting anywhere near an 8 or a 9 because it just doesn't make sense. I mean, the one play rule is a wonder. It's an absolute wonder. It just plays dividend on reception parties. It plays dividends when you go to a barbecue or you go to someone's house for dinner or something. Do you know what I mean? Seconds? Nah, not required. If there's some left, pack it away in a Tupperware box, put it in the fridge. I might consume it tomorrow or something, but I'm not eating it for the sake of so you can wash the plate. It's not happening. Yeah. Before, new.
Outside of the stuff that we spoke about, is there any other things that we've missed on that have been like important milestones within in the year?
I'm not sure. I can't really think. Look, what do I start at? 94, 93.7. I came in at what, 76. I'm now down to 75.5. We're up to just about over 18 stone. And I think the health benefits that we spoke about previously have just solidified the effort that's gone in. The energy that I now have where I didn't previously is better. I'm back to playing football. Feel like I can contribute to an actual good game. And I feel like I can actually make some runs and I can do stuff. Whereas before it was just a case of put me in goal because that's what I'm probably good for because I'm out of breath if I run around. But it's just different milestones. Holidays were great. We were able to factor them in. Probably 5 holidays, crazy holidays. We spoke about Mexico with the lads, 7 days. I did Barbados. I did Antigua. I did Berlin. I did Malaysia. When you think about the 11 months that we've been with, of which I probably spent 2 months of that abroad, and we still managed to get a good proportion off. Then you factor in probably up until this year, April, I was working, traveling 2 days or 2 weeks in a month. You factor all of that in. And then when you break out those 10 months to just take 11, let's call it 11 months, and you take the 2 months off and you're left with 9. And then you factor in probably 4 months of that has been traveling abroad. And you think about the 5 months. And when you pack it up like that, and then you were still able to achieve those results with your guidance and your kind of influence and your control, that's unbelievable. If I was just UK based, I'd be at that 68 kg. If I didn't do as many holidays as I probably should, I'd probably be at that 68 kg, but close to 18 kg down, and having done all of that and with a travel life and a social life and not having restricted myself on any of that, I've still got the same frames that I had, if not more. I've still been able to do the same amount of holidays, if not more. I've still got more holidays planned, but healthier, better eating options, better habits, more energetic. Unbelievable.
One last thing, actually, I remember the time when you have specific medication for some things and you got it changed. And do you remember the weeks in which you were absolutely so annoyed at your scale weight not moving? I want to talk about that for just a minute, because obviously that was a testing time, right? You're putting a lot of effort in, and you changed the medication, so there's lots of water retention stuff. But a lot of people maybe not take medication, but their weight fluctuates a lot. Talk us through that mindset battle of like putting in a hell of a lot of work and seeing no return.
Yeah, my medication changes. It's based on what comes back in my blood results and stuff like that and everything, just because it's the medication that I take. And there was a point where I was working out flat out. You told me to up my steps, so I started upping my steps to 15,000. I started upping my steps. I was doing over like 105,000, 110,000 in a week. I was doing my full workouts. I was watching my diets. I was even at some point, remember, Nate, skipping meals because I don't need it. I'm not hungry. But I don't think it was a case of I wasn't hungry. I think it was a determination that was taking over the fact that why isn't this scale budging? And I probably did it for 2 weeks or something, and it was again that thing, of checking in with you on a Sunday or a Friday, whatever it was, sending you some pictures, and then you ain't going to believe me because I've done everything. I promise you, if you would have put a GoPro on me, you would see everything I'm doing, but the scales were not shifting. And it became really frustrating. And I kept going back to the doctors and going, what's going on? And they're like, oh, we need to change your medicine. We're doing this. We're going to change that. I said to you, look, these are the medicines they want to put me on. What do I do? I don't like them. It became to a point where I was ready to tap out. It honestly got to that, right? And I think we had a couple of conversations and I was effing and blinding because I'm like, this is a piss take. Do you know what I mean? What's the point? I'm doing all of this. Nothing's coming off. Do you know what I mean? I should be seeing stuff on the scale. When you put your heart and soul into something and get nothing back, and you might be thinking 1 week, okay, we'll let that go, all right? 2 weeks, and you're going, this is a piss take. 3 weeks, and you're going, listen, something's happened here. This ain't happening. This is wrong. This is crap. And I remember we spoke for about 30 minutes or something on the phone. And you're going to me, mate, calm down. It's going to be this. It could be that. It's probably this, water retention, etc. and everything. And it got to a point where we stopped the drugs, right? And I went back to my consultant and said, look, I want to try and not use this, and I want to try and beat it through natural causes because I'm already on heart medication. I'm already on, if I need it, naproxen for my arthritis. I don't want another thing to try to help me about that, right? And you went, look, we can monitor it. We can try it. So I said, I want to come off it. And he said, fine, we'll monitor it back. Lo and behold, what happened as soon as we come off it, it started then coming away. And I think one of the things, that's a good point actually you put there, because it's so easy to get fixated on a scale. It is so easy to get fixated on what's going on this morning. Why has it not happened? When I think you then kind of install into people, there's different facets to the scale being, and the scale is not your only measure. Measure yourself. It could be the drugs that you're taking, not the recreational ones, but the medical ones that are potentially causing you to hold water retention. It could be because of certain things that's happened. Alcohol, if you might have even taken one gin and tonic with something. I've only had one, Nate. And you go, yeah, but you're probably holding a whole load of water now. And you go, there was only one. But I think that those 3 weeks during that 11-month journey were probably the hardest, most challenging, more so than the first 2 weeks of getting on it. I was good as gone, near enough. I think if we would have done a 4th week of it, I would have gone, what's the point? As I said to you, I feel like just going to Asda and buying every whole nut that there is there and just going at home and eating it, because what's the point? I might as well. because everything I'm doing isn't working. And it's not like a couple of days, we're 3 weeks in and nothing's working. I cannot shift this scale off this thing. And lo and behold, we change that, we change the meds, we stop taking that one, we get back on it, and all of a sudden, I think as that water started releasing or whatever it was, we started seeing that gain. And then you just get that boost again of going, right, now we're back on.
Game on.
Yeah, but that was, I totally forgot about that actually. But yeah, because it was a dark point. It was a dark point in the journey.
You are legitimately, for no other reason, you've had an import like a medication, but when you're in the middle of it and it's you just want to see the results. You see the effort that you're putting in. You see every mouthful, you see every no, you see every discipline point, and you're just like, just let me have it. Let me have the win. Let me just give it to me.
Then Kate comes out, I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I don't need that. For my sacrifice, what am I gaining? Do you know what I mean? Because it's got to come with something, right? If I put a pound in, I'm expecting at least 50p to a pound back. Yeah. when I keep putting in those pounds and they don't give me nothing back with the machine gets kicked, wasting my money, eating it. In which case, I might as well just go somewhere else. Same principle, right? I kept putting in the dedication and I weren't getting my dividends, and it was winding me up. And it was mentally probably quite harsh as well.
But when you have that, that's why it's important to know your things like the medication, the things that make you rise and fall in terms of your body weight. That's not just you getting fatter or thinner. You had a unique circumstance that most people won't have that experience with, but it's that mindset that you lasted 3 weeks. Some people don't even last a day. So it's that determination to understand it and go, actually, I'm still on it. I'm still on my grind and I'm going to be patient with it.
Do you know why? We had that photo shoot anchored in it. And that meant I had to do something. I couldn't throw it away. One, I didn't want to let you down. Two, there was a pivotal point that was non-negotiable. That meant that, don't get me wrong, the 4th week probably would have broken it. But I think the first 2 to 3 weeks probably took me through of saying, I still got that shoot. It's still coming. I need to get into it.
And that gives you that. It gives you one last line of defense, which is great. But dude, no, Dick, I'm so glad that you shared all of those things. So I really appreciate you taking the time out of the day and having this chat.
Thank you for, one, convincing me to join, and then 2, keeping with me. I don't know, you probably had more difficult ones, but I'm probably one of your most challenging. I think I probably would be. But I hope you also got enjoyment out of coaching me and helping me, because we did have some laughs along the way and it was some funny times.
Yeah, absolutely.